Hey, good morning. It must be Tuesday because I'm here at the studio ready to have a nooner. I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day. How was your Valentine's Day, Ryan?
It was quite enjoyable.
Good. And you had a nice weekend. The weather was fabulous, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? When I was driving in, I was listening to the radio, and Steve Miller was playing. They were playing Steve Miller, Jungle Love, which was one of my favorites in high school.
Did you catch the Grammys?
No, I didn't catch that last night, and I'm kind of disappointed, but I saw just a little snippet this morning on the news of Taylor Swift.
Did you enjoy her presentation?
I just saw a soundbite.
On the award acceptance, or like what part of the...
Yeah, I guess she was dissing on Kanye or something like that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of heat between them because Kanye suggested that he was the one that made her famous because of his run-on during her acceptance of Best Music Video, I think it was.
Where does this guy get off? I mean, even in all my experience as a nurse, I've never come across ever somebody so psychotic and really out of touch.
I'm not sure if I would go psychotic. He's definitely got an ego on him.
Yeah, I should look at his astrological chart because that always gives people away.
Should I try to find his birth date to see what his profile says?
Oh yeah, if you go to this is even better, www.astro.com, you can they have celebrity astrological charts that you can search for.
Well, let's see. According to this, Kanye West was born on June 8th, 1977.
Oh, that explains it. That was a wild time.
Do tell.
Well,
that's those when of us who are ignorant.
That's when I graduated from high school. So, yeah, it kind of explains the egomaniacal part of it.
So let's see. June 8th. What is that?
That's a Gemini.
Gemini. Now, what are some typical traits of a Gemini? Like, assume that I'm a street-level layman who doesn't know anything of zodiac.
Geminis are all about communication, but, you know...
he sure does communicate, doesn't he, folks?
Yeah, all the time. But what I'd like to know is where his moon is, because that... or his Uranus.
I
think it's connected somewhere on his shoulders. But I would like to know, like, how he really operates inside. I've looked at, I've listened to analyses of Kim Kardashian and Kanye. And, you know, in a weird way, they really get each other.
I've got a little bit of his profile here.
Let's see.
Do? His Chinese astrology is the snake. Let's see. His sun is a Gemini. His moon is a Pisces.
Oh
no! Just
yeah,
anything
Pisces.
but that.
I don't know. They're you know. Have you ever tried to hold on to two fish?
Are they a little fishy?
They're a little fishy, slippery. Well, I'm just saying, you know. But they are. They're the last. They are the last sign of the zodiac, which shows that if you believe in reincarnation, and I think that this is the way it goes, they've evolved many lifetimes. So they are more spiritually sensitive, I would say, than most people. I mean, more evolved, not necessarily religious, but I'm talking spiritual. You know,
kind of. So an old soul type.
An old soul. Many have lived many lives. Have earned this. Oh, and don't forget, you know, people always, this is kind of funny. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. You know, if you consider this, that everyone in your family is somebody that you have earned from another lifetime. In other words, in one lifetime, let's say you had, you know, a bad marriage, okay? And you did horrible things to your spouse. Well, in your next lifetime, if you believe this stuff, your next life, you will be in a bad marriage, but instead of you doing bad things to another person, hurtful, those things will be happening to you.
Now, once you've gone through that, have you cleansed yourself of that karma, or
Yeah, you have to work through it. I mean, not pathologically, but, come to understand, because every sign also has the best and the worst. But anyway, getting back to Pisces
yes.
Or family members, that's what it is. You have earned these people from another lifetime.
So essentially you deserve all of the bad that you get?
Yes.
Sounds like a little self-hatred there.
But, think about it. If there's somebody in your family that you find difficult to get along with, usually there's two reasons. One is you're exactly like that person, and neither one of you can see your shortcomings or will even admit your shortcomings to yourself. Because what you see in another person is a part of yourself. And that's kind of one of the precepts in nursing management is if you come, we already deal with difficult people. But sometimes when you have like labor and delivery nurses to deal with, who are probably one of the most difficult because they're so independent, usually what you see in the other person is exactly what bothers you in yourself, but you haven't done anything about it to change it.
Now, what if, say, you're a giving type of person, but you see somebody as being selfish?
Well, that's their karma. I mean, you can only set the example. And, take the high road. Don't allow yourself to get into and especially now because Mars is in Scorpio, and I think that there is kind of you can either use this time for spiritual enlightenment, or you can basically think of evil things to do to other people.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It
releases some very undue stress.
But orange is not a color that looks good on me. Yeah.
I take it orange is a wrathful color?
Orange? Well, that's what you wear in prison. So.
Oh, as in the new black. I'm thinking of like the cartoonish like prison garb when I think.
Oh,
prison,
like no. Yeah, orange
stripes.
is the new black. That's a show. I've never seen it before, but it's supposed to be very well written.
I've heard good things
and very good things about it. So, but we don't have any of the cables at home.
Yeah, and you've never thought of not that I would advocate this, of course, but bootlegging this television show.
Not even that. Once my husband got stuck on Downton Abbey, and
a very fine show.
He came in at the 5th season. Well, he wasn't happy with that.
Fifth season. There's so many deaths.
5th, I know, and it's amazing how he watched it. But anyway, what do you call it when you like binge watch?
Yeah, when you just muscle through an entire series.
Oh
season
yeah,
after season.
in like a weekend. That's what he did.
Yes, I think that's starting to become more and more prevalent now that there's things like Netflix and on-demand style series where you just have immediate access to entire archives of shows.
Exactly. So you can kind of binge on that. So that's okay.
I'm starting to think that they might even be catering to that because places like Netflix are starting to make series exclusively on that kind of a format, like Daredevil, like all of the superhero shows.
Uh-huh.
They're getting released online episode by episode, but I think they're designed now to be watched as an entire marathon run.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. And do we have someone on the line?
I do believe we do.
I think I heard the telephone ringy dingy. Hey.
Can you turn down the speaker? Hey, Susan. It's Julie.
Hey, Julie. My little martini. My little dirty martini. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing just fine. How's the noise level? I can move. Oh, they're just turning down the sound. They're so nice here at Ellen Sushi over in Los Feliz.
Oh, where are you?
In Los Feliz?
Oh, my gosh. My favorite.
Wonderful sushi.
That's where I grew up. I grew up in Silver Lake. I want to say hi to all my Marshall High School friends. Hello. Don't forget, watch my show. The greatest high school in LA. But anyway, so you're having sushi.
Yeah. But I really wanted to call and speak about my review on Cavalia, which I went to Saturday evening. And for all those horse lovers, and even people who aren't, that just want to see the most over-the-top, literally incredible show I've personally ever witnessed, you must go see Cavalia.
Where is it? Where did you see it?
It's in a big top, very sophisticated big top, erected in South Orange County in the Irvine area, just off the Spectrum area, the Spectrum Mall.
Oh, is this a Cirque du Soleil?
No, it's not necessarily Soleil, but it's a Soleil-esque type of performance.
Oh, okay.
Spectacle. Mm-hmm.
And it's called Cavalia.
Cavalia. So very similar to Cheval or Cavier or Cavallo or Cavallo, but it's Cavalia, and it's quite incredible, and I just can't recommend it enough. They do have performances around the country, but what's spectacular and rather unique, as a dear friend of mine, and also aficionado of all things equine, mentioned that of all his travels in the world and performance visits, he has never witnessed something as amazing as Cavalia.
Really?
It touches all the senses. I mean, smell, my favorite, horses. No matter where you're sitting in the audience, you have a great view, and the visuals are all-encompassing. You're not just seeing horses doing beautiful dancing or jumping or trick riders, but you're seeing musicians, you're seeing African drummers, you're seeing gymnasts, you're seeing so much. It's hard to take it all in. It took me several days just to digest everything, and that's why I can't recommend it enough. And the thing I think is the most amazing is, if you go to European types of palaces and you visit them back in the 1700s, you never saw the band or the people actually performing the music that they were dancing the beautiful waltzes to or whatever, type of dance today.
Right.
They would be off in some type of loft,
like
area,
in the gallery,
and you would just hear the music wafting in.
Right.
So they did the same type of setup at the big top, and their guitarist was, I think, one of the finest live performances I've ever heard for Spanish guitar music.
Wow. What was his name?
So,
do you know?
I wish I had it handy to give him tribute because he definitely deserved it. But, all the musicians that performed were wonderful. But, I mean, from sight, sense, sound, there was no sense left unspared at this event. And I just can't recommend it enough.
Now, how did you hear about it, and why did you go? I know you love horses.
I've seen and advertised in the past in LA, driving around, and then this time when it came around, I said I have to go.
That would be a great show here.
So I invited someone who appreciates horses as much as I do, and it was truly just amazing.
Wow. Fantastic. So next time I come out to Dana Point, you're going to get me tickets? Oh, yes.
Well, if they're still here. But they do travel the country, so you definitely want to check out to see if they're going to be in your area or if you can travel to production and get your tickets ahead. But it's truly worth, everything you pay for the ticket just to experience this type of production.
Fabulous. Hey, I want to change the subject here because I know you're going to Mexico soon.
I am, and I can hardly wait for just the peacefulness and the beauty and the becoming a mermaid, and I plan to be under the water as much as possible or on top looking at whales.
Well, always, listen, we always like to be on top.
Good to know, Susan.
Yeah,
Very
good to know.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
Note to self. So, but listen, where are you going in Mexico?
I'm going to my favorite secret place that no one should go to, Loreto in Baja California.
How did you find Loreto?
Well, a special friend of mine who happens to be known as Susan Feldman invited me last October to Las Palmas, to Loreto, and, unbeknownst to me, I had a wonderful, wonderful time, and that's why I'm going back, and I'm going during whale season, which is one of the highlights of Loreto, based in the pristine bays of the Sea of Cortez. So all the whales come there, and we're actually taking a little side trip to the Bay of Magdalena on the Pacific side to witness the whales actually being born.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I wish I could be there, but My funds are low, and so I have a GoFundMe account going. And anybody who wants to help me get down there, and we could even do a live show from down there.
Well,
It
I would
is a
love to call
beautiful
in
place.
and tell everyone, please don't come to Loretto, because
Yes.
we don't need a lot of extra people down in the most beautiful place in the world.
Don't go to Loretto.
That
It's the
will
most
save me more
beautiful
fish so I can
place.
catch more fish on my trap.
There you go. So now Julie is going to be going with another good friend of ours, Muna.
Yes, Muna is excited, and as Muna was questioning how can she catch a really large pintos, which is the local fish name for sea bass, or a yellowtail, I said, not to worry, Muna. We have very strong men on the boat that will be happy to reel it in and get it on the boat for you if you can't do it.
They have everything at Via del Palmar. We usually go to the one in, and Mary Jo has been to the one in Cabo. And that one is gorgeous as well. And it's funny how I found Loretto, because I had a week that I had to use, and they were all booked at Cabo. So I decided to try Loretto, and sure enough, they had a beautiful room for us, and it wasn't busy, and oh my gosh, we had so much fun. The spa. Whew.
Susan, I could go on and so could you, but I'm going to have to take it on March the 1st, live from Loretto.
Okay.
And I'll catch up with everyone, because it's truly a martini moment.
Oh, it is going to be a martini moment. That is for sure.
And I'm going to say adios, amigas and amigos.
All righty.
Hasta March 1st, live from Loretto.
Hasta Loretto.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sounds like a very nice place, that Loretto. We should all go down there.
Well, when we were down there, we were joking about how off the grid it is. It is really off the grid.
So if you're running from Johnny Law, people, that's Loretto.
Yes. It's sad in a way that it isn't splashy or showy like Cabo.
Yeah, it sounds like it's far removed from a Cabo San Lucas.
But on the other hand, there's such a beautiful charm to that of, there's just being on the property. It's on a point, and there's these islands down the coast, and it's on the east side of Baja. And the fish and the wildlife, it's just pristine.
No college kids ruining your time.
No college kids, no loud thumping, humping. I mean, in the evening they do have, like if you want to go and listen, I think and then they have a beautiful golf course. I mean, tee times, when do you want to play? And it goes over the mountain, so you get these beautiful it reminds me of the desert right by the sea, because you're climbing over this very everything is very desert down there.
Sounds very like a place to go if you're into exploration of the wild.
Well, yes and no. Yes, because there is it's off the grid. But no, because when you get back to the property, there's a lot of creature comforts.
So you don't want to leave?
No, you don't mind going on little day trips, which are fine. In fact, Julie and I went to the church that dates back to the 1600s in the mountains, high in the mountains. And what is it? Juan Bautista. Javier Bautista?
Something
Anyway,
with Batista.
it's just, you go up into these mountains, and it's just this cute little village that's been there since the 1600s. And, it's so untouched. Like I said, you haven't gotten... There's a little family restaurant there. It's all open. And, when they bring tours up there, the whole family gets together. And the tours are scheduled around meal times. So, you go in there and, of course, the meal is paid for. But, it just seems so bucolic.
It's a very
And-
nice word. I've always enjoyed that.
Oh,
To describe country living.
and so untouched. I mean, you could really go back to you can really put yourself back into the 1700s. And apparently it was put up in the mountain because that was a pass between going north and south.
Ah.
So you could easily, when you have when you come from, it's like a high valley.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can always protect that. It's sort of like Switzerland. You have all these passes, so you can protect the passes. So it was a safe place. But, they had probably, it was a way that the Spanish government could control the passage of people between north and south. It was a military post, but people also who were trading, north and south. But it's interesting because it's in the middle, high up. So it's beautiful.
And so no city corruption, so you can actually see stars at night, and there's no city noises.
Oh, I fell asleep. Now, this is the other thing. It's a very safe place. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere, and they have police walking around this place. You don't see them unless you're out in where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, unless you're fiddling about.
Unless you're off property. And one night, a couple nights, we had a beautiful balcony overlooking the beautiful pool, and it was
Ooh.
just fabulous. Oh, it was just, it couldn't have been better. And I've fallen asleep out down by the beach, looking up at the stars, because you can see the Milky Way.
At night, I hope, so you didn't wake up with a nice sunburn.
No, it was at night, of course. And it was just like this white swath. A cloud, like a white cloud, and that was the Milky Way.
That's what stars actually look like?
Yeah.
I've been in the city my whole life.
Oh, and then, even the planets you could see so clearly. You could see Venus as a pink disk and Mars as an
You
orange.
can hear like an individual dog from 5 miles away.
Yeah, that's but it's just, and even when you go, snorkeling, this is like, it's nothing airsats. It's the original, Baja, Mexico, in my opinion, should be.
The real McCoy, as they say.
And I love Villa del Palmar. They have many properties, and they've been very, very good to us, and we've always had a wonderful time.
Sounds like you're very
every time.
close to California.
Yes. Well, I grew up in L.A., went to USC. Ah, yay. Anyway, I'd like to take a quick break.
Well, I guess if you have to.
Can I please?
Yes, certainly.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about making bread.
Ah, pen.
And also, breaking down big jobs. All right, come on back. Go get your cup of coffee or your water or whatever, and we'll see you in a few. Hey, and we're back. Everybody got your, if it was London, we'd be having cocktails.
Or just tea, if we weren't raging alcoholics.
Well,
Actually, let's see. What is the time difference in merry old England?
Is it 6 hours? It's 3 to New York. And then, is it 3 more to...
I threw a curveball at the show and didn't even realize
It's
it.
8? There you go.
Well-
Don't you just love...
Well, it's always time for booze. Let's
Well, you know what? If it's not cocktail hour in London, I know that it's probably cocktail hour in Moscow.
see.
See?
It's happy hour somewhere.
It's always happy hour. And especially we live in Vegas, so it's always happy hour here.
24/7.
There you go.
Now, speaking of beer, there's grains in beer, and there's also grains in bread.
There's grains in bread. My grandmother, Simi Halme, used to bake this homemade Finnish bread. It's 8 hours. 8? 8 hours. Okay. So London's 8 hours. Okay. So it's definitely cocktail
Yeah,
hour.
that's definitely drinking time.
Anyway, she used to bake the most delicious homemade bread. And she would bake like 6 loaves because she had a house full of people.
Ah.
Being a minister's wife, they always had somebody who was living in the house, besides their own family, my relatives.
They do know how to turn that bread, those religious types.
And so she would make like 6 loaves of homemade bread, which was like this rye. It's in Finnish they call it tekeleipä, which is work bread. So it's every day. But then they also have this sweet bread, which is called pulla. If you're very fancy, you call it nisua, but we're not. We're just pulla.
Yeah, we're just good old working type Finns around here.
And so you can't buy this. It's sort of like challah, but it's sweeter, and it has cardamom and nutmeg. And, it's just the most delicious stuff. So anyway, I've always wanted to learn how to bake bread. So in the last week, I have started to make bread from scratch. And one of my challenges, I've never had problems baking like cakes or cookies or stuff like that, but I really started, getting the yeast to rise. So I pulled out one of my favorite books, which is The Great Scandinavian Cookbook by Beatrice Ohjatkangas.
That's a proper Scandinavian name.
Nice Finnish name. And so she has a part in the beginning of how to rise dough, or how to get the yeast to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever heard of, there's these things called rising cabinets?
Can't say I've heard.
Anyway, apparently, I've never heard of this, but she refers to it as the place in your kitchen where all the heat collects. And it's usually, even if you have an open kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
you usually have one part of the kitchen where all the heat will collect. And she says that's where you need to put the bread to rise. Well, my place is way up high, way in the
Now, like an oven wouldn't accomplish this?
No, because you need something that is between like 82 to 8, like you can't get over a certain temperature or you'll kill the bread, the yeast. And what you want to do is you want to, keep it going.
Oh, so it's more like a fermenting, not really like a cooking.
Yeah, no. It's fermenting. It's where, you put the yeast, which is the plant, basically,
Mm-hmm.
in warm water. And you put a little sugar in there, and it starts to eat the sugar.
Right. It's basically a bacteria.
And then, basically, if you think about it, it creates gas.
Yeah, it's a delicious petri dish.
Well, not only that, but when you think about it, is that the yeast eats the sugar, and it grows, but the byproduct of it is the gas.
Delicious
Anyway, that just occurred to me.
We go through some weird
nothing
things.
like, science, I use it every day.
I wonder how they discovered cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Oy. So anyway, I have been making this homemade bread that I've been channeling my grandmother in the kitchen, which is really cool.
Now, could a young, enterprising radio person ask for a sample of this bread?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I made enough for me and my parents, because my parents and my brother's in town. So I also, he loves it too, because it came out of not wanting to heat the house in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
because during the day it's fine, but in the evening it seems to just get so chilly. So I realized that I could do 2 things at once. I could heat the house and I could make homemade bread. So I started to, like 3, 4 o'clock in the evening or the afternoon, I'll turn on the oven. Or not turn on the oven, but, I'll start to heat the oven up.
Right.
And I'll be, just cooking dinner, but at the same time, while the kitchen is so warm, I will, make some bread. So
now, does it smell as nice as a bakery when you're fermenting bread as opposed to baking it, or?
No, baking is much better.
Yes.
Fermenting is sort of smells like beer.
Oh, that's a nice. I think that would be a pleasant smell.
Yeah.
For certain types.
But then once you, depending on what you put into the bread. So then my friend Irina Jacobson, who's also been on the show, the amazing yoga instructor, she makes the same bread overnight without any kind of fermenting or creating this hot house kind of. I remember when I was growing up, my grandmother, when she would be making bread, she always had a bread making day, and it's usually Saturday. And she would close up the kitchen and heat up the kitchen. I swear the thing was as hot as a sauna. And we'd walk in, and she'd be yelling, "Zucchini, zucchini," meaning close the door, close the door.
A nice proper Scandinavian household. It's like a sauna, you're making bread.
Because, she wanted to make the whole kitchen that she had, like a rising cabinet.
Oh.
But, it's hard to get in and out of your grandmother's kitchen when you're visiting without opening or closing the door. But in any case, that was a lot of fun. But I've learned that in this last week that when you do it in small increments and you do it slowly, and this is how you rise bread, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
Now, have you learned to mass produce, as your grandmother did, this bread, or is it mostly singular breads?
Right now, I'm working with recipes that make 2 loaves.
Okay.
So I can test the 1 loaf on my family and then send it to
They're your guinea
my
pig.
parents, who I hope that they're enjoying the tequilepa that I dropped off this morning.
Oh, I'm sure they found it delicious.
So do we have another?
I do believe we do.
My mother's complaining because everybody's drinking too much coffee at her house. She couldn't figure out why, and it's because of all the coffee bread. And hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Mary Jo in the know.
Mary Jo in the know, in the house.
I'm in the house.
Oh.
That was a good 7 minutes, wasn't it?
It's a good 7 minutes. 7 heaven.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me call in. I had a great blood drive today at a pharmaceutical company in the area.
Fabulous. How many pints did you pump?
There were 62 donors.
62?
Yep. So you do the math, and there were like 4 double reds. And we only had 1 machine. Normally we have 2 machines taking people who like for double red because it's double the amount, and people were waiting. They didn't care. They didn't want to just do the regular. They had the specific blood type that made them good candidates for double red, so they just used their time and waited. It was amazing.
Amazing. Oh, God bless you.
The best thing about the blood drive, it wasn't in the normal place at this pharmaceutical company because there was a town hall with the CEO in the auditorium. So we were bumped into the side room that was in like 4 buildings over. Like Susan, it would be like going to paper mill and parking in Manhattan. Okay. So far away on this campus. But anyway, it's called the Hive. And it's like the creative types go there, and it was really chill, and it was like collaboration, and there were Buddha statues and like quilting, ancient random quilting on the walls. It was so chill. I thought of you all morning.
Oh, thank you.
It was really cool.
Because I couldn't get a hold of you, so I started doing, my mental telepatating. You know how I mentally telepatate with people?
Yeah, I felt you, girlfriend.
So you were hearing me. It's just that you couldn't break away. Oh my God, how many? 63
people signed up, and so I don't know. Like at the end of the day, I don't know what the
final count
factor into the deferment rate, but it was. This company is a big supporter of the American Red Cross, and they book the drives, quarters in advance, so they have it covered. It's a big push, and it was fantastic.
Wow. And it's called the Hive.
I wanted to peek in on the way out in the town hall because I always have my resume with me.
Mary Jo in the know. You want to hire me, don't you?
You know what I'm saying? I'm working it all the time.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to have to look that up on the internet, the Hive, because, I've got some Reiki quilts that I'm going to be putting up on eBay soon.
I heard about that. Yeah. Oh, when is that happening?
Well, that's going to be in the next week.
Cool.
So I've got
Can't wait.
3 that are going to be going up, and the pictures I'm going to have them on my website, so you can check them out. But I'm going to look up that Hive. What sounds like a fun place to work.
Yeah. And it was, it's a French-American company. It's Sanofi. Adventist pharmaceutical company. So there were we were also in the hipster, the young, the European building as well. So it was very, very, I felt so creative.
You felt like you were at home.
Oh my gosh! Checking people in was a different experience this way. So
rather than the usual crowd you've been cultivating.
Yeah, but this morning it was a big circus because we woke up. We went to sleep with a snowstorm. Woke up to a rainstorm. So all the schools were 2-hour delay, and that happens. If I don't stay, my daughter will go to school looking like she's going to the club. Yeah, so I was just pushing it real tight. Like, what are you wearing? Get up, get dressed. The bus is coming in 2 hours, but let me see what you're wearing now. It probably changed anyway. Who the heck knows?
I thought that if my daughter went to a school that had a uniform, that would not be a problem. But it
oh, can you imagine, Caroline? No way. No, that would be one more layer you do not need.
Honey, I've already got, be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Yeah. The angels do hear you. Listen, I have to tell you something really funny. I was going through my books because I'm, feng shuiing my workspace. And I came up, I pulled out this book, A Reiki's Birthplace by Jessica Miller.
Oh, wow.
This is a great book, by the way. Do you have that book, Mary
I do
Jo?
not. No.
Well, Jessica, this is so typical of me. Jessica, when I signed up for the trip to Japan, the first one, this book came along with the price of the,
right.
the thing.
It's like Rick Steves' tour guide.
Exactly. And what she wanted me to do is to read it ahead of time. Well, Sean Severson, Dr. Sean Severson, our other compadre, she got the book, and of course, Sean,
read it.
she read the whole thing, right? So she was packed perfectly. She had all the right equipment. She knew exactly what was going on. And I'm like, Sean, how do you know all this stuff? She says, I read the book. It's like, duh. Oh, is that what that's for? I love my friends.
I
my
love
friends
that.
teach me
I
so
love
much.
that. I love that.
So anyway, I was opening up this book because I'm looking for inspiration for just my office and my practice, my Reiki, my Kiyomizu Dera Reiki practice, and lo and behold, I came up with this picture that I'm holding up. You can't see it. And, it's an old picture. I think probably from 1984, you might say. I think 84.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you and this really good-looking guy. Oh, and you've got like and then here's another one. You're sitting on the sofa, and he's got his arm around you. And I don't remember what the guy's name is. I think he once told me that his he's a great grandson of Henry Cabot Lodge and Claire Booth Luce.
Oh wow!
Anyway, these are also going to be up on the screen, so I had to send you that because that was so hilarious. And then
I'll send you a picture of the hive, the pictures that I got, so you can put them up for our listeners and viewers when they watch it on YouTube. So. It's really, really cute. Really cool.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Listen, I also wanted to ask you, you've been to Villa del Palmar in Cabo? Because,
I have.
Julie, my West Coast correspondent, is going to be going to Loreto with our friend Muna.
Wonderful.
Dr. Muna. And although, you haven't been to Loreto yet, but... did you like Villa del Palmar when you came?
Oh, I did.
Wasn't that the best?
Loved the whole setup, and if you wanted to walk to each restaurant, you could. If you wanted to take the trolley, you could. I love the fact they had a great spa.
Their spa was fabulous.
The staff was accommodating. If you wanted to go out and do excursions, they were really helpful in getting competitive rates. And I would recommend it. It's dragged that it's so far from the East Coast. So you really need a private plane to get there, I guess. I don't know, just saying.
So anyone that I know who has a private plane, Mary Jo would like you to send it to her so that we can go down to Cabo San Lucas.
It's a fabulous place. Every once in a while I get a salesman calling or salesperson calling and saying, "Oh, are you a friend of Michael Feldman?" Well, he wanted me to give you a call to see if you're interested. And I'm like, okay, I don't think so. I think this is a canned speech. I was there, and I loved it, and then I give them a glowing review.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're going again. Marty and Kenny are coming with us.
Oh, how good!
Yeah,
That's great.
we got two units. So yeah.
Oh, that's super.
We're going to be in Los Arcos with the garden view.
Will Steven still be there? Will Steven go with you guys?
No, I don't know where Steven's going to be, wherever the Army Corps of Engineers sends him to rebuild what we've blown up. Sorry. It's like, let's blow it up. Oh, Steven, can you go fix that? So anyway, it keeps him busy. But I also wanted to mention, how much I love AOPI and, how much support. I'm really excited that we have so many AOPI chapters on the West Coast. Yeah. And we have great alumni, too. And we do so many wonderful things to raise money for arthritis. Jinx, double jinx. And that's kind of another reason why I'm wearing my red. I have a little Finnish pin on. It's red. You'll see it on the... It's by Arrika. Got to get that rolling. Arrika. So anyway, how's the weather back east today?
Well, now it's 50 degrees. It was snowing last night when I went to bed, and it changed over. We got a southerly storm coming up, and now it's 50. It was pouring, raining, and but now it's not raining, and I can see the sky. I can see blue, which is great.
You can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Now I see Medianoche and Toby's muddy footprints all over the foyer and the kitchen in the area.
Medianoche is... Who's Medianoche?
He is my miniature poodle, and Toby is a miniature poodle. Two of my pets.
Best boyfriends you ever had.
Oh, my God. They are... It's Liberace and Todd reincarnated into miniature poodles.
They are the cutest couple. Yeah. I love them. And
Mitty's he's the queen, and Liberace is, and Toby's the boy toy.
These are the cutest little dogs. They're little black poodles, and they're just the funnest.
11 pounds. So if they don't come, you go over and you pick them up, and then you can carry them.
But they never had problem, curling up. They're so gentle and so sweet. Anyway.
Oh yeah, and hypoallergenic. They have hair. They don't shed, and it's fun.
So how's my hot tub coming along?
It's not
hot tub.
Status quo. Hot tub. Everything's on hold until our next planning meeting.
Oh, I see. Oh God, New Jersey, it's so overregulated and overtaxed.
So start making more quilts and selling those quilts, girlfriend. Because you got to buy yourself a hot tub. And a hot tub free.
Oh, I love.
So how was Cali? Did you talk about Cali?
Cali?
Didn't you go to Cali over the weekend?
Oh, no. We were going to, and it just wasn't going to work out. Yeah.
That's how you got so much progress made on your quilt.
Well, and not only that, but, it was just, we needed the downtime, and Sam had to work on his birthday, so,
That's right. On
Denver.
Valentine's Day, one of the first things my daughter said to me, Katie said, "Isn't it Sam Feldman's birthday today?"
That's right.
I said, "Yep, February 14th, 1990.
Sam
that
was born
the big day.
On Valentine's Day, and 12 years later, Caroline was born on Thanksgiving.
So nice.
The angels have a very funny sense of humor. Anyway, so what are you planning on doing? You have any plans for the summer? Now's the time to start planning for the summer. So
Okay, so this is the thing. I always like to go away around your birthday because someone has to celebrate your birthday out of the country. And I take that role on. This year, so now it's the planning stages of what type of vacation, where, and how much I want to push for my way or the highway. Because when you leave it up to committee in this household, you get nowhere.
yeah,
And
that's
so
what
I gotta
I've
make
learned
it
about
sound
being
like
a mom.
it is.
You just
Yeah,
have to.
and then
You just
you have to make it
point-
sound like it's their idea.
Yes.
So, like husbands, right? Children
I love that
and husbands,
idea.
that's
Going
your
to
family.
Italy. Gee, honey, you're brilliant.
How's that trip to Italy going? Right? So
Of
Croatia
course.
is on my list. I'd love to go to
Croatia.
Croatia. Yeah,
Ah, interesting.
that's on my list.
There is one of the best places in Vegas to get pizza. Is it's owned by a Croatian family over on what is it, Decatur and Sahara? Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Anyway, but not like the New York pizza.
Oh, the best.
The best.
So good.
Especially right after
speaking
the
of
play.
New York, did you watch the Grammys? Did you watch the live performance from the Rogers Theater of Hamilton?
No.
They did the opening song, the cast.
Did they?
Filmed it from the theater in New York City and played it, because it was
Is it on YouTube?
nominated.
It's gotta be.
It's probably on YouTube, yeah. It was nominated for Best Song or Best Musical, so, yeah.
Right on.
Overall, I think I was disappointed by the Grammys. As I get older, I recognize less and less,
Okay, listen. In preparation for the Grammys, right? I
You
decided.
listen to Katie's music, right?
Yes. Okay, and Caroline came into my workroom and
Right.
said, "What are you listening to, Mother?" I said, "Well, Mary Jo said that I needed to get more hip and that I needed to start listening to the music that Katie listens to."
Uh-oh.
And Caroline said, "Mother, even I don't even listen to that kind." And then she walks out of the room. She comes back in. She says, "Oh, by the way, Mom." I said, "Yeah." She said, please don't listen to rap anymore." Oh, is her Gemini in my first house or what? Oh, the total security patrol. Thought Nazi. Anyway, so funny. Isn't it life so funny?
Lady Gaga did a great tribute, though, to David Bowie. That was really amazing. She did like a melody of all of his songs, and she was dressed, and she's really a fantastic singer.
She's
she really
amazing.
has a beautiful voice.
I love her.
And who doesn't love David Bowie? So that was worth it. The rest,
And you know what? Here's the thing. I don't even bother watching this show because it's sort of like when Michael and I used to watch Saturday Night Live after we got married. We would just turn the show on and then record it and watch it in the morning and just flip through all the, while we were having our coffee. Listen, my time is up. Oh my God, how
it always
fabulous.
goes by so fast.
All right. So listen, you guys, I have to put a shout out. I need people to go and fund me because next week is going to be my last show. So if you can give your money or quarters or pennies, please. Love you. Love, love, love.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.